Okay.
Been out for 8 months, but now we are finally getting the first true PlayStation 5 video game, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. When you boot this up, you are going to say, "Oh, look at the PlayStation on these graphics. This game is just beautiful. You got 17.4 octo-quad processors pumping out 300 pixels per gallon, subwoofer mega aliasing with real-time bump maps. Clearly the game you are looking at right now could only ever be possible on the PlayStation 5. Am I right or am I right? Well, Richard, you're never going to trust me again after this, but you just fell for my biggest trap ever. Again. This is actually the PS4 game from 2016, which is still a spectacular looking game. The Ratchet and Clank series has always been impressive visually. This was true in the PS2, PS3, PS4, and especially so in Rift Apart. Sweeping vistas, numerous reflective surfaces, massive scaled action sequences, expressive character animation, the varied humming of different types of ships zooming beneath you. There's a factory with a bunch of bouncy balls.
Well, he's not wrong.
You gotta love the sound design on that. It's not just the level of detail, but the variety of locations. Neon-lit cyberpunk cityscapes doused in purple rain. Dino jungles with mammoth towering over you.
I don't think he's trolling.
The shattered and scattered mining planet Blizzard Prime. You're really gonna want to take your time and absorb all of the little details in these worlds. Especially when you get to Mr. Zarkon's cantina. This place is just ridiculous. There is so much concentrated detail in this one room. These guys are
really cool,
drinking drinks. Wasn't there a sound effect on that drink? This dude is riding a mechanical something. Over here, they're playing Street Fighter on the arcade cabinet. Now look at these little creatures inside the jukebox. Who are these guys? Then you got a sheep sitting at the bar.
That's crazy. That is a lot of detail, right? And a lot of assets.
If you read his bio, turns out that's actually Chairman Drek from the original game. This cantina part is insane. Sony is really pushing the PS5 solid-state drive as this breakthrough technology, and Rift Apart pulls attention to this with its Rift opening trick where you can seamlessly glide from world to world. This is a cool trick, but Sony, remember all those PS4 games without loading? Uncharted 4, God of War, Red Dead 2, Last of Us 2, these games had one initial load screen and then never again. It was just one continuous experience from that point on. Not every game figured out load times, but you know what game did? The original Ratchet and Clank on the PS2. The load times are almost non-existent. This was 20 years ago. Rift Apart is an excellent looking game, one of the best. True. But is this game only possible on the PS5? I don't know about all that. Sony Santa Monica recently announced that the next God of War game is still coming to PS4. If the PS4 is still good enough for God of War,
wait, what?
Shut the fuck up out of here with this. Can't even shut the fuck up. Gameplay. Wait, we're actually going to talk about the game in this video? The game
for availability?
is solid. It's not exceptional. It's not the true next generation experience. It's just solid. You have a nice variety of shooting, platforming, and puzzles, and a nice variety of weapons like the ice cube gun and the electric.
Well, it gets kind of laggy sometimes, and it gets
plants. You can flip onto a ship.
It gets a little bit noisy in the room.
In midair with your shotgun. Whenever I see a TNT box, I break out the little pistol and get that pinpoint shot off to blow up a whole stack of crates. This never gets old. You can spawn in an entire army of minions to win fights for you. You have snail racing off of
on the PS4, dude. You walk up to a room and it goes, and then the boss will start.
Expensive looking rail grind sequences I've ever seen. Even with all of this going for it, though, the repetition starts to creep in around the halfway mark. You have dozens of enemies on screen at a time, you have a dash, you pause and pick weapons from a wheel, and your guns chip off parts of the enemy's armor. And that's when I realized I am playing the G-rated version of Doom Eternal. This comparison does Ratchet and Clank no favors, because the combat of Doom Eternal is far more thought out. Every weapon beats nearly every enemy. There's very little strategy at play.
Oh, that sucks.
There is also a severe lack of variety among enemies, especially for a game that is about going to all these different dimensions, you know? The game just keeps throwing the same mini-bosses at you again and again and again.
I actually hate that in games. I hate that.
10 times, and he never evolves as the game progresses. There's a lot of shooting sections, and then you bring out this little robot to play a virus minigame. And now here's some more shooting sections. So let's recap. Graphics? Gameplay? Story? The nicest thing I can say about the story is that it's competent. Most games, on top of being incredibly dumb, are also very drawn out and tedious. Rift Apart is brisk and snappy. Dr. Nefarious, the bad guy who always loses, sucks you into an alternate dimension where he always wins. It's definitely a cool premise that
I'd
is
like to go there too,
squandered
man.
on very boring characters. The whole fun of the alternate dimension is seeing the characters you already know in a new light, like Skid McMarks. In the normal dimension, he's a laid-back surfer dude, but in the alternate dimension, he's a badass secret
Old
agent.
Ratchet and Clanks?
The
Ah,
alternate
probably not.
versions of Ratchet and Clank, though,
When you
are
pl-
pretty much the
when you play the
exact
older
same
games, they don't feel the
characters.
same
have
anymore.
The same weapons and the same calculatedly inoffensive personalities.
I'm glad you're okay, buddy.
You too, Ratchet.
Be careful out there.
Him, they always pretty cool though.
Why do you go to this planet? So you can get a rock. Why do you go to this planet? Because the rock broke. Now you have to fix it. This is the storyline, you guys. There just isn't enough emotional heft here to satiate
not
an
an ad,
entire
it's a game
video.
review, okay?
Ratchet
Relax.
is
Settle down,
intimidated
sir.
by the prospect of finally meeting his lost race of rabbits. Meanwhile, Rivet and Kit both have trust
Wait, is he a
issues
rabbit?
they have to overcome. I guess the core idea is uncertainty, which isn't a good fit for a story this formulaic and predictable.
Oh, I apologize.
You feel bad? Even though I just watched your brain diary thingy?
Oh my god, he feels bad even though she was mean to him? Wow.
You okay, Bolts?
You came after me.
Oh my god, she came after him even though she didn't like him before? Oh my god. This game is rated E
Alright,
for
well, that wasn't
everyone,
bad.
not E for children only. To really tell an effective story, you need to take the audience.
Yeah,
to
I
a
watched one
series
only, I
of
don't know what it
different
was. I forgot what it was.
But Rift Apart seems
'Cause
to
that's- what is that I was
only
gonna
have
watch?
one setting.
Oh, it's not over.
Loud.
It's me! Take it!
When they
Jesus
aren't screaming
fuck,
or
man.
shooting or blowing up stuff, then it's the complete opposite. Now they're too polite. It's like every other
Jesus,
line
that was
I
loud.
like in this game is somebody saying thank you.
Thanks for choosing Mr. Combs.
Thank you for going to such trouble on my behalf.
Thank you both for freeing.
Okay, shall we watch most of this, chat? Okay. Yeah, what was I gonna watch? What is that? Okay, go on, dude.